Hello guys, welcome to my classroom once more. I have already published a clip on Newton's first law of motion. Those who missed it can go to the link given to the description box under this display box. Today I am going to discuss Newton's second law of motion. But before starting this video, I request the viewer to watch the entire video, like it, share it, and drop your valuable comments in the comment box. But never forget to subscribe the channel, never forget to push the bell icon for getting the notification of publication of new videos. So let's start the Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the net unbalanced force, and change of momentum takes place along the direction of net unbalanced force. Before discussing Newton's second law of motion, first we should understand an important term, that is linear momentum or simply momentum. What is linear momentum or momentum? It is the product of mass and velocity. So momentum is equals to mass into velocity. This is denoted by the letter small p and mass small m, whereas velocity v. So p equals to m into v. Understood? Now velocity is a vector quantity. So definitely the product of mass and velocity or momentum is also a vector quantity. Now what is Newton's second law of motion states? Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied on it, and the rate of change of momentum takes place in that direction in which direction force is applied. This is an object of mass m. This was moving with an initial velocity u. After application of some force F, its velocity changes to v and mass is constant. That means the object has the same mass. Now initial velocity is u and final velocity is v. So initial momentum, what is initial momentum? Initial momentum equals to m into u, initial velocity into mass. So m into u. Followed. Final momentum equals to m into final velocity, that is m into v. Okay. Now change of momentum equals to final momentum m into v minus initial momentum m into u. Okay, so change of momentum equals to mv minus mu. Now if the change of momentum takes place in t time, then rate of change of momentum equals to mv minus mu divided by t. If we take m common, then within the bracket v minus u divided by t. v minus u by t, final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. This is the rate of change of velocity. It is also called acceleration, you know. So this is m into a. So rate of change of momentum is nothing but the mass into acceleration of a body if the mass remains constant. If mass changes, that we will consider later. Okay, first time we are considering the mass object which has same mass, means mass remains constant. that force applied if proportional to m into a. Therefore, F equals to some constant of variation k into m into a. Now, we can have the measurement of force by this equation. How? If the mass of the object, this is 1 unit, suppose in SI it is 1 kg, and A is also 1 unit, in SI it is 1 meter per second square, then F is defined as the unit of force, that is F equals to 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. That is, here it is called 1 unit, and in SI it is called Newton. So, in that case, value of k is 1, because 1 equals to k into 1 into 1. That means k equals to 1. So, if we have the measurement like this, if we have the measurement of F as unit, when the mass of the object is unit and acceleration of the object is unit, then value of k is 1. So, we can write this equation as F equals to m into a, mass into acceleration. Okay. Now let us consider two objects. One is bigger, its mass is 10 kg, and this object has mass 1 kg. Both are kept on a plain smooth surface. Okay. And 20 Newton force is applied for both the objects in this direction. Right? Now, if the force is same, then which object will have more acceleration? Obviously, you can understand that this will be accelerated less compared to this one. What does it mean? That means if you increase the mass, that means acceleration is less. And by Newton's first law also, we can see that if F is constant, that means A proportional to 1 by m, or A is inversely proportional to the mass of the object. Okay. Now, if both the objects have same mass, this is also of 10 kg. Okay. This is also of 10 kg, but force applied is different. Now, if we apply here 40 Newton, suppose, for this object, so acceleration will be more in which case? Both the objects have mass 10 kg and force applied here it is 20 Newton, and in this case it is 40 Newton. So, if you apply more force, it will be accelerated more, right? That means by this law also we can get that if m is constant, then A proportional to capital F. A is directly proportional to capital F. So, alternatively we can say that Newton's second law is like that acceleration of a body is directly proportional, is inversely proportional to the m, or mass of the object. Acceleration of a body is inversely proportional to the mass of the object when same force is applied, and acceleration of a body is directly proportional to the force if mass is constant. Means acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass of the object when F is constant and A proportional to force F when mass is constant. Okay. So friends, here is an example of a numerical problem. Don't fear about that. Any numerical problem can be solved easily. First, read the questions, read the problems carefully, attentively, and then write down the data which is given. So I write first, what is the problem? A body of mass of 500 gram, right? Understood? Initially at rest, there is no motion, is acted upon by a force, that means a force is applied which causes it to move, force causes it to move a distance of 4 meter. After that, the body traverses a distance of 4 meter and the time taken is 2 seconds. So write down the data first. What are the data given? That is mass m equals to 500 gram. Okay. Initially at rest means initial velocity u equals to 0. Okay. Is acted upon by force which causes it to move a distance of 4 meter. That means is the distance traversed is equals to 4 meters. Okay. In 2 seconds, time taken t equals to 2 seconds. Final velocity you don't know. Write down final velocity, don't know. And acceleration. What is acceleration? Is it given? No, it is not given. So question mark. I don't know what is the acceleration. Okay. So m us va. Everything I have written here. M u v s t etc. All those things are written here. Now you have to find out the force applied on it. So you know the formula F equals to ma. Right. So to calculate the force you need the mass and acceleration. Mass is given but acceleration is not given. So you have to find out the acceleration. Okay, how? Now by this data you can find out the acceleration easily. S equals to ut plus half at square. Okay, this equation already you have learned. S equals to ut plus half at square. Now put the data. S equals to 4 equals to u means here 0 into t, whatever t, but it will be 0. 0 into 2 plus half a into 2 square. Okay, 2 square means 4. Here is 2. So a equals to 2 meter per second square. Okay. Now F equals to m into a. So F equals to m mass, that is 500 gram. That means 1 by 2 kg. So F equals to m means half into 2 Newton, that is 1 Newton. So first you have to write down the data and try to do the same unit. If units are different, then what you have to do, you have to convert all the data into the SI unit. It is better to prefer the SI unit. Convert it everything to SI unit, then find out the acceleration and here put the value and you will get the force easily. Now some important phenomena related with the Newton's second law of motion. First one, athletes often lands on sand or cushion after taking a high jump. If he used to jump on a hard floor, what happens? There is a sudden change of momentum. Why? Because delta t is very less in that case. If delta t is very less, then this ratio is increased, means F is increased. So due to tremendous amount of force, the athlete may have an injury. Second, glass vessels break when falls on a hard floor, but they do not break when they fall on a soft carpet. Almost the same phenomenon, same incident and same reason. Because if glass vessels break on a glass vessels falls on a hard floor, what happens? Due to sudden change of momentum, delta T is very less here also. So impact of force is very high and vessels used to break. The third point, while catching a ball, a cricketer withdraws his hands along with the ball. You might have noticed that a fielder used to catch these balls in this way. That means he used to move his palms along with the ball so that the time delta T is increased. That means his intention is to reduce the rate of change of momentum and to reduce the force so that his palm is not injured. So friends, for any query, write down in the comment box please. Meet me in the next video. My classroom door is open to you every time. Have a good day. Bye bye.